You know, guys, there's the saying that money makes money, but why is that? Why does money make money? Let's dive into that in this video. And I just thought about the reason before I started recording this video, and it's really due to leverage. It's economies of scale. That's why it makes more money, because basically, when you have a lot of money, you have proof. And proof is the number one factor for people to trust. And when people trust, they are happy to spend their money to learn how to make more money. And so it's really got to do with desire. Now, obviously, this is just one side of it, right? There is another side of it, which is, there's a different side of it as well, right? Which is like compounding, for example, right? So if you have, let's say, $10 million in any growing asset, right? Let's say real estate, you're gonna make more money regardless, right? Even if you have credibility or not. But I'm really talking about in business. Money makes money in business because not only can you invest that capital, but you also, again, you have a form of leverage. And it's economies of scale, right? So it's ironic, and it always is, but the people who are making the most money, they are desired the most, right? To some extent, if that's the measuring metric. So it's really interesting because, if someone is making $1 million a month, for example, anyone under $1 million a month will want to be coached or will want the guidance or the insights of that individual doing more than them, right? And it's like the person who's doing $1 million a month, they will want the insights of the person doing $3 million a month, et cetera, right? And so it's just very interesting, right? I was just thinking about that, and I just thought I'd pop this in this video because ultimately all you want to do is just keep compounding, right? Keep reinvesting, keep putting everything back into the engine and make the engine more and more powerful. And what that will end up doing is making you undeniable. You'll have so much proof and results that it's actually difficult to not make more money. And so compounding just becomes really, really simpler and quicker, right? You'll be able to compound so much faster when you have enough momentum. And it's interesting because when you're starting out, it's the polar opposite. You have very, very little momentum. You have very little leverage. You have very little credibility. You have very little trust. People don't trust in what you do. And as soon as you start to gain success and results, it's not just one of those things that change. They all change at the same time. And so business becomes exponentially easier on that side of things, the more you can compound in. And so that is a massive form of leverage, right? Because it's multiple pillars working simultaneously in your favor. And at the same time, when you're, in the opposite, when you're not there yet, it's multiple pillars working against you at the same time, which is crazy. And so that's really a part of the law when it comes to why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. If we were to look at rich and poor on a standpoint of not only monetary success, but, not monetarily, but rather, what results you have. Same thing. You will continue to get poorer unless you break the cycle of being poor in terms of results. When you have a lot of results and you're abundant in results and you're abundant in success, it multiplies. And when you have no success, it does not multiply in any way. Like it just gets, it doesn't move, right? It stays very, very stuck. But when you have, then it's like, it compounds. It goes much, much, much quicker. So yeah, guys, that is a great example of how the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, how money actually makes money, and really like how success makes more success, right? So really the only thing you need to do, like if you're looking at someone 10 steps ahead of you, if you're looking, okay, let's not talk it in steps. Let's say if you're looking at someone who earns 10 times more than you, just understand that they're not 10 steps ahead of you. Realistically, they're 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. And the only thing that they did differently is they kept putting it back in, right? They kept just doing the same thing more times over. And so it starts to amplify, it starts to multiply. But it's not 10 steps. Just because they earn 10 times more does not mean they're 10 steps ahead, right? So just understand that you're realistically a few steps away. You're realistically a few steps away from where you want to be. And the results side of things multiplies when you do just those extra few things, but more times over, right? So like something is simple, right? It's so simple, yet hardly anyone does it. Okay, let's give a great example of this. If you are profitable with your marketing and your business, instead of withdrawing the money every month of your profits to put it into your home, if you just did not do that and kept the money in the business and spent more on marketing the next month than you did the month before, or the next quarter than you did the quarter before, the business would probably make more money, right? But what do people do instead? They get some success, they make profits, they'll withdraw half to majority of their profits for the month. They'll put it into their new car, they'll put it into their new house. They want to change their tiles or wooden flooring to nice new marble tiles in their house, right? And the business is not able to grow as fast as it needs to. And then we think to ourselves, why is the business stagnating? I wonder why this business is not compounding as fast as I want it to be. And then we look at Warren Buffett, who has capped his personal income at $100,000 a year for like forever. And we're wondering why he's worth hundreds of billions. It's obvious, guys. It's right in front of us. And so I think the reason why many people do that, aside from addiction of personal lifestyle, which don't get me wrong, I totally understand it, right? I love nice things as well. It's nice having money for your personal life. But yeah, like compounding the business is not complicated. It's just like doing more of the same thing. So for example, like if you do nothing different in your business, if you don't improve anything in your business, but you only just don't withdraw from it, the business will grow. If it's a profitable model, it will grow. Now, here's the thing. If you're struggling to get clients right now and you're like under 100K a month, then if you just grew the business by 10x, you would have a 10 times bigger business, which would be a form of credibility. Your closing rates, I mean, it depends if you are like what niche you're in, right? Or what industry. But for example, if you're in any kind of B2B industry where you're helping other businesses make more money, right? Helping them book more appointments, helping them optimize, I don't know, click-through rate on their ads or whatever it is, right? If you're helping businesses make more money and you make 10 times the amount of money than you are now, your closing rates are going to increase for sure, because people in the B2B space, other businesses, they want to work with successful businesses. When it comes to coaching, this one's another big one. Like if you want to be able to do consulting and coaching successfully, then just make sure you're having the results that your clients are looking for. And like I just see a lot of the time this big disconnect, you know? And it's just quite obvious. Like it's so powerful. If you want to be, you know, flourishing with coaching, just put everything back in until you're big enough that nobody can deny you. And you'll just start to see that everything becomes easier exponentially, right? Every little thing you add, every time you can double your business, your closing rates will get easier and easier. Like people will have less objections. People will be doubting less, right? The sales will become easier. It will take less time to actually close the deal. It will take less questions, blah, 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 right? You'll also be able to charge more because you earn more. So your hourly rate has increased for doing the same thing. So, and then when you compound all those things, so you can charge more and your closing rates have increased and you have more trust in the marketplace, when you have all three of those things plus whatever else comes with that, as you can see, it's not 1 + 1 + 1, it's 1 × 1 × 1. So it's like whatever you increase these things by, they multiply by each other. And so this is a great example of economies of scale, where it's like you can do exactly the same thing just on a larger scale, and things will become easier just because of that. And so your size has a lot of has a large part to play with how difficult your business is going to be to operate and to make successful. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Again, just wanted to pop in this video because I think it will help many of you guys who are watching my content in the B2B space, running your businesses and your companies, serving other businesses. Just put all your money back into the business and make it so big that it's undeniable. And it's going to be, difficult to not grow the business very easily if you can get that done. So I would say that's worth it. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.